All right, welcome everybody. So today we are going to prepare for tomorrow. Tomorrow is the winter solstice, and it is a really, really powerful winter solstice, probably more powerful than normal. We are going to receive today an upgrade on an energetic level in our light body by receiving an activation that actually occurred on 12/12/2022. This activation, we received 12 golden discs, and those 12 golden discs were inserted within our body, activating our light body. As we move into the winter solstice tomorrow, we're going to be adding a 13th disc. This disc is going to support opening up and shifting our nervous system so that it is calibrated to the influx of energy that is coming in and around the planet. Tomorrow at 12:21 p.m. New York time will be our big activation. If you haven't registered for it and you want to, you can click the link below and we'll see you in our spiritual community. We're looking to gather 144,000 people radiating the frequency of love. And I would just absolutely love it if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, strong energy, so grateful, super. All right, the energy is intense. I get that. So what we're going to do now before the activation is we're going to go over some information in a PowerPoint and share the journey as to how we got here and the process along the way. I am today here with Devashri, who is the artist and a brilliant mind who I work with all of the time and an open heart who does this incredible artwork. And I want to remind you guys that we receive activations, yes, through transmissions, but we also receive them through artwork and symbols and all kinds of things. And as we go through this process, just understanding the development of how we got to where we are and how we're upgrading our energetic body, opening up our nervous system and preparing it for the solstice is really important. After I share this information and I go through it, you're going to receive the actual activation. This is not to be mistaken for tomorrow's activation. Tomorrow is where we're going to receive the 13th disc, but we want to explain to you how we got here and why, because it's important to receive these transmissions, this energy, these upgrades, not just with, by being passive and receiving the activation itself, but also engaging in the understanding of what's going on. Okay. I hope that helps. A couple people could turn on their screen now so that I can see a few people. And I am going to share my screen. Hmm. This energy is wild. All right, we're almost there. Hang in, peeps. Hang in. All right. Can you all It's almost comical. Ah. Okay, okay. You know what? Here we go. All right, super. Can you guys see this? You can see it? We're good now? Everybody, somebody give me a wave. Yes, I can see it. Okay, fantastic. All right, here we are. Winter solstice, preparation 2024. What we are doing here is we are activating our light body and we are calibrating our nervous system to the upgraded nervous system of Mother Earth, to Gaia, and to the stars and the stargates. This is a very potent and powerful activation. Some of you may have been feeling energy coming into your body, an influx and uptake. You might feel your adrenaline rushing, your cortisol levels a bit up. You might even feel a little bit shaky. This is all part of the process. And what we want to do is calibrate our entire nervous system so that we're able to receive the influx of light and sound and color and energies that are bombarding our planet in a way that we can assimilate them with ease and grace. Okay, so here we go. We began this process in Uluru. For those of you been with me and working for a long time in 2020. And this time of year, the winter solstice, we did a very powerful activation where we went and connected with Uluru, and we created a link between the continents. And this link that took place occurred during the Great Conjunction, and there was a ceremony. This was the first introduction to what we call the Mother Source creation grid. And this was the first wave of a big energetic shift. Although I've been channeling since 1987, and the harmonic convergence was a huge shift that took place on the planet, it has incrementally been building, and we are all feeling it right now in a big way. But in 2020, in the winter, it really started to rev up and changes happen. We might remember that this was right before COVID. This is what Raphael called the first wave. This was a time where everything went silent, where the world shut down, where we kind of retrieved into our own inner selves, where we were quiet. It was also a time where fear kind of came up for a lot of people, where we had to make some certain decisions around our sovereignty, our body, our choices. This was a very potent and important pinnacle and piece of the puzzle of what we're leading up to now as we're entering into what Raphael speaks of as the second wave coming in 2025, and starting to rev up now toward the end of 2024. This energy is very potent, and there were different what would we say, beings or like animals that also came in during this time. This was when we were coming back online with the indigenous energies. This was about the dream time, dreaming the new vision, dreaming up the new earth. Then we moved here to 12/12/2022. This is the activation that I'm going to share with all of you today. This activation takes about an hour. This is a very different activation than the ones that I normally do. Normally, the way that I channel is you go on a journey and you receive the transmissions and the frequencies. This is a much more active transmission. And the reason I wanted to gather everyone today, and I wanted you to listen to this during this activation, you receive 12 discs of light. These discs have codes on them that are upgrading the nervous system and activating your light body. When these discs open, they become spheres, and within the spheres are codes, and these codes start to upgrade your whole system. What that means is you are unplugging from the past. Everything within our genetic coding and our DNA and our body and our nervous system is a record keeper. It's a record keeper of our life in this lifetime, lifetimes to this date, and it can be deeply embedded in programs. Those programs can often be unconscious, and they begin to mirror and reflect the reality we're experiencing. It can be difficult to consciously unplug from those programs, and that's when you'll notice you'll have repeating patterns happen, things that you can't seem to get away from. What's happening here is we are receiving assistance from the galactic beings, the ascended masters, and other realms, as they're supporting the unplugging of that old system and plugging us into this new system that is based in a much higher frequency of love and unity, where we're moving into neutrality and compassion in the presence of the moment that allows us to move into vision for the future rather than being previously anchored in the past. Okay, so this is the nervous system here of the body. Here we were working with a goddess called Ocean in Nigeria, and you're going to hear this activation today. And that's where I really invite you to turn off your phone, be quiet, and receive the activation as the discs go in, knowing that a 13th disc is the one that you will be receiving tomorrow when we do the final activation. Okay. Now, part of the journey is not just about what's happening in our physical body and our own nervous system, but what else happening on the earth itself, the earth's nervous system. So many of you, make sure everybody's muted. I'm just going to take a second and double do that. There we go. Okay. Here we've built a connection and kind of been on a parallel path to Matthias. Many of you know Matthias. He's incredible, and he's been working on a grid for a very long time of 12 different nodes. It's coming to, or 33, right, Devashri? How many nodes is it that he's been working on?
It's 33. I mean, 32, and he's at the center.
30.
That's 33. Yeah.
All right. Do you want to share with us this journey here with him um, and the process that's taken place?
Sure. This takes us back to the solstice, the summer solstice of 23. And I had received Kelly's star seed egg, which has been around uh, planetary vortices for about 33 years. And she mailed it to me in India. And at that point, it wasn't very clear what and why that was to happen. And then within a month, I embarked on a journey around the Arctic Circle. It was a artistic residency, but really, the real purpose was the dropping of this crystal egg. And Kelly had instructions from Raphael that this was going to be the final resting place for this crystal egg after having been in all the power spots on the planet for 33 years. And while I was waiting to start my journey, I met with Matthias. It was purely coincidental, and he had just completed some kind of activation around the Arctic Svalbard region as well. And I just happened to meet him, in a cafe in the place that we were both staying at. And I was guided to just go up to him and tell him that I have the egg, and that was it. And he already knew. He said that, oh, I've been waiting for this egg because I had received instructions that despite having completed my entire journey around Svalbard and I finished dropping, I think he was working with the runes. Um, he said that they instructed him that the work is not complete until he receives the feminine energies by way of the egg. And he had no idea what this egg was and where it was going to come from. And so that was a clear indication that, of course, it was a shared mission, but in by no means was it planned. And we had beautiful instructions for where the egg would come to be dropped. And it was amazing to me to see that all of that worked out exactly as per Raphael's instructions. So while I was leaving for the journey, he gave me these platonic solids, which kind of were the seed activators to the egg. And so they traveled on my journey for 21 days, and they've connected with this egg that has now been dropped in the Arctic Ocean. And I think that activation kind of opened up the Taurus, the toric field for us, for the light codes, and for all these journeys that we've been on. And 2022 was another massive gateway because that was, I think, when he started his journey of the planetary I am. So he started his work with the nodes at exactly the same time that um, Kelly received the Great Conjunction activation.
Yeah, so this is amazing. So this egg was dropped in the Arctic, and I think it's very important in relationship to the poles and the North and the South poles as well, and the magnetic fields, as they're showing that there's this huge shift that's about to take place. And this activating that we're going to be receiving today with the 12 discs, and then tomorrow in the potency of the big activation into the 13 is very stabilizing. And what they were showing me last night is that these this crystals and this work that we've been doing around the planet, and many of you, I'm sure, have felt called over the years to go to specific places or leave certain things. It's all lighting up tomorrow. We are really activating the full grid. So we continued on this journey, and here we're the winter solstice of 2023. This was more of what we would call the 0 point energy. This is between the 22 and the 24. And here we were working with Andaras and very much around, um, as you can see all the map here that's on the side. The map is all of you who have been holding the energy and the light during the time of this activation and what was taking place. We were really working at that time with the hexagon energy in the template for the great waters. Um, and this then brought us later, and I don't want to go into too much detail because it can be a lot for all of you, but these are the sequences that are building up to tomorrow. So we were activating the grid systems around the planet and getting that in place, and the water during the 0 point frequency was coming into harmony and into balance. The galactic waters, the inner waters. You heard a lot in 2023 and into 2024 about water through Veda Austin. Many people talking so much about the importance of our water, its structure and our influence and connection to it. And then this brought us here to which is probably one of the most important pivotal points that we reached during this year, which was the solar eclipse on April 8th. And this is where Dr. Ling was in Mexico in the zone of silence. And if you remember in the beginning of the presentation, we were talking about right before COVID, everything had to go silent. We had to go into stillness. It almost gave the environment a time, like the airports, planes weren't flying, the animals started to come back, things started to like rejuvenate temporarily on the planet, and our nervous systems had a chance for some of us also as we went into hibernation to rejuvenate. We were preparing like the template of this first wave of energy to prepare our nervous system and energetic field for this influx of energies that's coming in from the galactic great central sun, the beings of light. And what happened here during this beautiful activation was the great grandmother spider came in and she wove this web around the planet of these infinity symbols, us being a part of that web. And not only is that infinite web around the globe activating and turning on, it's turning on inside of us, in our DNA. When we receive the activation tomorrow for the winter solstice, the double helix of our own DNA as it spins and opens and awakens is also going to go through the formation of the infinity symbol, running codes of light through our entire energetic body. During this time, it was almost like the matrix of everything during the eclipse itself went still. Even if it was for 3 minutes, it was a breaking down of the old energetic field, and it gave you the opening and the spaciousness for this inorganic grid to come back online. So that's what was happening there. That led us to the opening of the Rainbow Bridge. This is where we noticed within our nervous system, and we started to work with the new earth energy, that we had to awaken at the base of our spine, at the primordial 8 cells, the energy of the serpent, of the egg, of the energies that had to start to begin to rise within the kundalini of our body. And we activated this during the new earth light code in 2024. This is another upgrade that we were receiving. This is when a bridge between us and the Great Mother Source energy and the galactics, a bridge has started to be born, the Rainbow Bridge. This is another powerful activation that you guys can listen to at another time. Then we moved into the Lion Gate, right? Another 12 points. This is where we went up to the 12th gateway. This is where we connected with the Lyrans. I know we're going to be connecting with the Lyrans tomorrow. Their frequency is very high. They're these feline Lyran beings, and they came down to help us to connect to Avalon as we did this work of the repairing of the energies on these particular gateways, and we moved up into the 12th gateway. Tomorrow, it's the template of the 12 is moving to the 13. That is in relationship to Ophiuchus, to the serpent bearer, to the 13th zodiac, to the rising up and the unsealing of things within our energetic body that have been closed that are now being reactivated. Debusry has up here all the different solstices and equinoxes in relationship to the different portals and how they interconnect. Okay. And now here, Debashri, can you share with us what's going on here? So here's, and I'll just briefly, I want to mention to you guys, when you listen to the activation, which we're going to do shortly, you're going to hear me, a sequence of numbers that are going to go. These are the Fibonacci numbers that in 2022, 12, 12 were being activated, right? 8, 5, 11, 13, 8, 22, 21, 13, 33, 34, 21, 44. Those energies were activated, and what's happening tomorrow is it's doubling. We're going from 22, all the which were these activations, which ended at 44, Mother Source Creation Grid, which is the infinities, which is the 88, and it's going to begin to double. So on 12/12, when we worked with Lady Guadalupe, we were moving into the light frequency and these gateways were opening. These are the codes that came in next, 553455, which are the actual 55 lit codes that I downloaded 4 years ago that I've been sharing with all of you that is activating your light body. And then we went into 6677 with the 144, which is the Christ consciousness frequency of the 12/12, up to the 233, which is our DNA, chromosomes, and the Christ consciousness merged with the infinity source creation grid. All of this is happening tomorrow. This is what we're doing. We are activating and awakening our whole energetic nervous system input as it merges not only with the Earth's nervous system and the galactic frequencies, but through our DNA, through the Christ consciousness and the Mother Source creation grid. Okay, so here, Debashri, tell us what's happening. Don't worry, guys, we're going to get to the activation, but I want you to have some understanding of what's going on and the work behind these processes so that you're getting it on multiple levels. And just looking at this artwork in itself is very activating. Just take it into your pineal gland. All right, are you there, Dee?
Yeah. So this is a representation of a cosmic clock, and it's meant to tune us just energetically into cycles within cycles within cycles, which connects us back to the 12/12 prophecy of the Mayans, which is where this entire idea of 12/12 as a portal date has come through for us. And so as a representation, these are 12 grids, like we worked with the 12 solar gateways, the universal cosmic gateways. And they're repeated 12 times around the clock. So imagine that this is the position of 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, right? So what happens here is when you start to connect each of these portals within the 12 gateways. So if you take the first gateway and you connect all the first gateways, you get a disk. When you connect all the second portals, you get another disk. And so it is a recursive clock which has these disks that move fractally across the 12 gateways. And I think that connects directly also into the information in the 12 discs that we're going to be working with and moving to the 13th. So at the end of the 12, in the center is the 0 point. It's the 13 which takes you to the next cycle. So effectively what's happening is these discs are creating a spiral which completes its 12ness and takes us into the 0 point to open up into the next cycle.
So it's the completion of one cycle as we're moving and passing through this gateway into the next. And so just taking that in itself is activating. And there's so much more going on. And we go over this in class if you're in our light code membership, but we just want to give you guys a feeling of what's happening. Okay. Um, and then most of you, I'm sure, were with us on 12/12 where Lady Guadalupe came. And Debishri, wasn't there some beautiful new discovery in relationship
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So
to the
this is
46
the addition.
constellations on her mantle?
Yeah, this is the additional piece where I found that there is also a reference to the position of the pyramids in Mexico, uh, also mapped within the Tilma. So it's a direct correspondence with the constellations. So you have the pyramids on the ground, and then the constellations, and it's all mapped in the cloak. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So on the mantle itself are the 46 constellations that is a mirrored reflection of what it was seen at that time during the winter solstice. And this is, I believe, in 1531. And she came to me a few months ago and asked for me to bring a transmission of her energy in on 12/12, which was when her apparition appeared to Juan Diego, which I was unfamiliar with. And many of you, I'm sure, were on that call where we received a lot of high, just unconditional love frequencies from this divine cosmic mother's energy. She was also clearing what we call the 13 wounds that have been sealed within the energetic body that we as a collective in our consciousness have been carrying and holding, that were unsealed as we were able to receive the pouring in of this unconditional love. And now we're going to be receiving it on an energetic body in relationship to also the constellations. Here are the wounds themselves on the body that we were able to clear on our last during our last transmission. And this, if you see this drawing that Debishri has made for us, which is incredibly complex and incredible that she did this is what's going to be happening tomorrow. This is what we're doing, if you can imagine that. Do you want to share a little bit about this, Debishri?
Sure. Sure. So, I think very simplistically, if we were to imagine the activation for tomorrow, it's like this translation of these wounds that we're carrying into the activated light body in the form of these 8 Godspeed Infinity codes that we can run through the DNA structures in order to transition to a higher dimensional DNA pattern. And so in this drawing, you see that there are exactly 8 infinities in the body, which are carrying these codes. And each of these will also map the areas where the wounds are. So it's a translation.
Okay. This one, give us uh, this is a lot to explain to people, but we'll try. Do you want to share here for a minute or?
This is also a representation of the 12, the 13 wounds, and you have 4 sets of 8 forming the 32 with the 33rd in the center, which is actually the 46 stars on the Tilma, and it's activating the new codes that we will receive as well. So it's another representation of the discs becoming those spheres.
So partly, I guess, for you guys to understand also here is that the 13 wounds are the ones that were cleared, and then we're receiving then tomorrow during the activation 13 discs, right? That are going to go in, and those discs then are flat like a plate, and as the plate goes into the energy center, it opens into a sphere, and then you're in the holographic field of the codes that are coming in. Then in addition to that, we have the 33, which is the spine. It's the Kundalini. It's how many vertebrae that we have. Also in relationship to Yeshua's time of death, in relationship to the 1212 of the Christ consciousness. As this happens, these two energies of the 13, the 33, make up the 46, which was the stars of the constellation during the 1212, during the time of apparition, which was the mirroring energy of 46 is 64, which is the double eight, which is the double infinity, which is the infinite energies that are moving through. All right. And then here we've got the shifting of polarities that's happening tomorrow. And we're interested, as Debishri was saying, we're surprised that more people aren't talking about this. Do you want to share about this briefly? And then don't worry, guys, we're going to get to the activation very soon.
So very quickly, I think there are some really big things cosmically that are coinciding with this solstice. Um, and one is that we're in a solar maximum phase where the sun seems to be swapping its poles, and this pink rose that you see above here is actually the field of the energy around the sun, and the earth is kind of moving into this spiral, and the spiral is moving as the poles are swapping. So that is one that creates a massive amount of energetic frequencies. The other thing is that we also have um, the possibility of the Golden Gate alignment through Ophiuchus, which is the intersection of the galactic. The galactic equator is the midway point of our galaxy, and our ecliptic equator is just the movement of the Earth around the sun. And when those two intersect, you get these two gates, the gold and the silver gates, and they are aligned to the ring of the constellations around the planet. And that alignment specifically occurs in Ophiuchus, which is why we're probably receiving the 13th energy of Ophiuchus.
Oh, yeah, it's unbelievable. So this is what we're doing tomorrow, going through the Golden Gate. And we're receiving the 13th disc in relationship to Ophiuchus through the galactic core's energy. All right. And then here, we were just on the phone a couple days ago with Mateus's team. He has someone that they've sent out to New Zealand where they are dropping crystals there. And you want to share about this, Debishri?
Yeah, so we connected, thanks to Karita, we connected with Mary Takoko, who's a Maori activist, and she was contacted by Matthias to drop, I think, what seems to be the final crystal to complete his icosahedron grid that you see here, which is the 32 plus 1 nodes on the planet. And she drops this egg tomorrow. So as you can see, without any prior orchestration, he started his planetary grid in 2022 when the world came to a standstill, which seems to be the energy through which the planetary work gets done, because all the artificial grids come to a standstill, and that's when you can actually start to reactivate these nodes. And we seem to be also coming to this completion of this cycle. He completes his grids tomorrow, and we have this completion of the 12 gateways and the kind of union between um the Christ consciousness, the energy of the 144, and the 88, the mother source infinity grid. So it's pretty magical, and it all started with also the egg drop in the Arctic.
All right. So here we are. This is what we're doing tomorrow, everybody. This is the Mother Source Creation Infinity Grid with the overlapping of the Christ Consciousness grid, and the icosahedron grid activation. Is there something you want to say about this, beautiful thing that you made, Debashri, before we do the activation?
Yeah, just that the central node there is the drop point for this crystal that goes in tomorrow at Norfolk, and how it connects to the infinity grid, and the idea that it's carrying and conveying these very deeply feminine Lemurian energies into, like, Matthias's Atlantean grid, in a sense. So it's that the polarities are finally merging to the equator, the two poles, the polarity of Atlantis and Lemuria, and we're all coming into that androgynous concept of our spiritual future, I think, which is important.
Incredible. Okay, here it is, everybody. This is what we're receiving. Take it in. It's what's happening tomorrow on 12/21 at 12:21 p.m. The light body activation with the mother source creation grid in our nervous system connected with the fucus. So much beauty here. This is what's going to be happening within your whole body. This is what we'll be doing tomorrow. And here it is. Here are the discs going in. So I'm going to be sharing with you the activation in a few minutes. The activation that you're going to be listening to is the activation that took place on 12/12/2022, because I want you to take in the codes that were activated then up to the 44 so that tomorrow when we double it, you're prepared. I want to remind people listening to this, if you didn't have a chance to listen to it and you're just jumping into the activation tomorrow, that's totally okay. This is like bonus material to prepare your energetic body and light body. And you can listen to this activation and the activation that will be tomorrow and the replay anytime. And it's most potent now and within the next 10 to 12 days, obviously. It carries the greatest potency, but it's always still accessible to you. Do you want to share anything about this drawing that I think is one of my very favorite in the whole world?
Mm. It's a visual representation of everything that you've brought to us.
Mm. Can you guys see it closer up? We've got the Lyrans coming in for the 12th gateway. Aren't they so magnificent, beautiful during the Lion Gate? We've got Lady Guadalupe, we've got the Mayan goddess here, and all of this energy. What's so beautiful is with Debashree's artwork, the more you're able to zoom in, you can see the intricacies, the power, and the potency of what's going on. You probably couldn't even notice the numbers before, but you start to see them moving through the body and around in the Fibonacci sequence that's taking place here through 8 God infinity. Okay, can zoom in even closer. Any last words, Debashree, before the activation that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I think it's a it's really a an activation about coherence. It's bringing a coherence to all kinds of polarities, and in a sense, activating a deeper understanding of unconditional love. At the end of the day, it's only that simple. We go through this entire process and outlines and maps, and because it just helps us build a coherence between the mind and the heart. But other than that, the work that is done is so simple. It's just bringing us into this energy of um, coherence, right? We're shifting away from polarity into
Exactly.
coherence.
Coherence and unity and love. And at the end of the day, it's just about the love, everybody, and the conscious decisions and choices you make in every moment to continue to choose love throughout your day and throughout your journey in this human experience. And we're just here, or the beings essentially are here just to support us on that journey and to help open up pathways for us to have a deeper connection to that very high frequency so that we may maintain it and hold it not only for ourselves, but for the planet and for one another around the globe. All right, I am going to share the activation now. All you need to do for that is just relax, receive the codes, receive the energy in preparation for tomorrow. I'll see all of you tomorrow at 12:21 p.m. New York time. If you haven't registered, you can register, of course, in the link below. And I love you guys, and we got this, okay? All right, give me one moment to just get that activated. Oh,
Hello.
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 Hello, hello,
Hello.
hello. We are very delighted to be here from the angelic realm, for I am accompanied today by beings from all over of higher dimensional vibrations and qualities to assist you today in the receiving of this activation. For you will be moving in and connecting with the magnificent and beautiful goddess Oshun, and as you attune to her energy and vibration, she shall be clearing and washing away old aspects of self that are no longer needed, as they are left behind as part of who it is that you are, stepping into a higher garment of light. As this occurs, you will be traveling and into a particular energetic field in which you will stand inside the 12-pointed star as it begins to move quite rapidly, as the insertion of particular energies will be moving into aspects and spaces within your field to awaken who it is that you are. Encoded in them are different geometric patterns and deep wisdom and sacred teachings that will awaken and activate parts of self that have been asleep and dormant for some time. As the calibration of the earth is occurring at this pace, and she is moving very rapidly in her evolution, it is of importance that you as a collective unit of light begin to evolve with her, so that you may move through the transition and time and space of her tunnels of unfolding with greater ease, as she is supporting you as you evolve together into a new dimension in which many of you speak of or understand as 5D. With that, we ask you now to close your eyes and to begin to bring your awareness to your breath. Bringing your awareness to awareness itself, aware that you are here, bowing in gratitude for the receiving of this activation and the willingness and the open heart to surrender and to begin to let go of whatever stories you have been telling yourself or have been attached to that are no longer serving who it is that you are, dropping them behind as you receive this activation. Attuning to your energetic field, become aware of the pillar of light within your pranic tube, aware of its energy, aware of its vibration, aware of its circumference, of how large or small it may be, attuning to it. And with that awareness, begin to relax, to let go, to drop, dropping your shoulders, dropping your jaw, as your eyes are becoming heavier and heavier, and you are dropping into a deeper and deeper state, falling down, aware of the energy inside your body, aware of your heart, aware of the sphere of light radiating from your heart and the quality of that light as it begins to descend down your pranic tube into your solar plexus, becoming heavier and more densified, grounding, moving into the sacral area and the root, dropping further and further as you begin to feel yourself moving into the great mother, the beautiful Mother Earth, beginning to sense and to feel her soil, her bedrock, and moving down deeper and deeper, feeling heavier and heavier as you are dropping your whole energetic field into the Great Mother, inside her womb of creation, moving further into her as you are being held and embraced by her love, opening your heart and loving her as you do, knowing that she has given you everything, moving deeper and deeper inside of her as you begin to have an awareness of a light. This light may be in the distance, and you are beginning to travel further and further toward the light, as you are moving closer to it and away from what you are familiar with, attuning and connecting with the light. You begin to move as if you're moving along a spiral, traveling along the spiral at a rapid pace through this tunnel, moving toward this light. And as you do so, you begin to feel the warmth of the light. It is so warm and inviting, and it is calling you there. As you rapidly move through the tunnel, you find yourself in the light. You have passed through your own Earth star, and you have entered now a new realm. This realm is connected and part of what you know and understand as the fifth dimension. This place is so beautiful. It is a replica and representation of the earth in a fully awakened and vibrant state, based in unity and love. You are there, and you have arrived on Earth in the 5D at the location of the 12-point intersection in Nigeria. You are there in the etheric space of this beautiful place. Start to become aware of where you have arrived, noticing that the land is a bit dry in places, and in others it feels jungle-like. You happen to be in a place at the edge between the desert and the jungle. Begin to attune to the sounds and the smells, the vibration and the energy of this place. A magnetic shift will be occurring on your earth, and as this occurs, a great balancing will take place. This will be a point of origin for this balancing, as the grids shall be lighting up in 12 points across your globe. This is the point in which you are now, and at this point there is a goddess. She holds and carries the vibration of this point for all of you. And she is here today to love you beyond your knowing. Begin to feel her presence, for she is sitting in a dwelling, and it is above where it is that you are. There is a short climb to get to her dwelling, as she is waiting to receive you. Begin to notice your surroundings. Look down at your feet. Perhaps they are bare and you are on the ground. sensing and feeling this place and the greenery all around. You are in a grove, and there is a slight incline, as if you're beginning to go up some steps. As you begin to climb up the steps, in front of you, you see this dwelling. It is made of clay, and it looks organic. It has windows that are cut from the clay and a very primitive roof. This dwelling is glowing. Notice it and be aware of the glowing light within the dwelling. It is a safe place for you to go and to be. Begin to walk toward it as you step gently over a root, for there is a strong and beautiful tree aside it. Stepping into the dwelling, it is lit with candlelight everywhere, and the beautiful goddess, Ocean, is awaiting you. She is there and holding the vibration of Nigeria. Next to her is a beautiful vessel filled with sacred water. This water is a blessing water and very holy. She wears a golden yellow garment, and her skin is black like ebony. Her eyes are dark like the sky, and her smile is tender and sweet. She is beautiful and warm and inviting. She wears upon her wrists beautiful golden coils of metal, and upon her chest, as dangling earrings fall from her ears. She smiles gently at you, inviting you into her sacred space that is only open to those who are ready to open their heart and to let go of old patterns and ways of being. Moving in and connecting with her, she has created a soft bed for you, made of feathers and straw. It is so gentle and warm and inviting, and you may lay upon it now, knowing that you are safe and that she is here to love you completely and unconditionally, returning you and connecting you to the great mother in which she so honors, loves, and adores. As you lay here on the bed, next to her is her vessel filled with holy and sacred water. She takes her beautiful and gentle cloth, placing it in the water. And as she places it in, you hear the sound of her cloth going in the water. And as she does so, she wrings the water and brings the cloth to you. You are there, and with her permission, she takes off your garment as you lay there, vulnerable and naked, but open and ready to let go. Now you can let go, dropping your shoulders, feeling safe, relaxing, and allowing another to truly love you. She takes this cloth that is warm at the touch, and she brings it gently to your forehead. And as you feel it on your forehead, it begins to slowly wash it, washing away thoughts washing away things you have seen that you wish you hadn't, washing away the imprints of trauma. She is simply washing it for you, knowing that it came for a reason, that it brought a gift, and now it is time to let it go. Easing your mind, softening your mind, allowing yourself to relax as she gently takes the cloth, dipping it in the holy water, bringing it gently again to your face, caressing your face and your eyes, allowing you to relax even more into a deeper and deeper state as she is washing away any residue of energies, anything that you have heard that you didn't want to hear, any time you had spoken in a way you wish you hadn't, letting go of anything that is a residue in or around you, just gently washing you and loving you for who you are, completely in the here and now, dipping her water again in the vessel, bringing it to your throat. She washes away any time you felt criticized. Breathe that in. Anytime another judged you, washing that away. Anytime you judged another, clearing it, washing it with her great waters of the sacred holy water, cleansing your auric field, dipping into the vessel and clearing away and washing any weights or worries on your shoulder that you don't have to figure everything out or solve every problem. Letting go, trusting and having faith. Washing again around the softness of your heart as your heart begins to open wider and wider, allowing yourself to be in receiving of love by the great goddess and by all others in your life, opening to love, washing away the protective energy around the heart, letting that go, knowing it is safe to be seen, safe to be loved, opening to vulnerability, noticing the strength in that. As she bends over again with her cloth, rinsing it out, she begins to wash your torso, your solar plexus, and all the area there, letting go of hierarchy, comparison, a sense of unworthiness, of shame, of guilt, just allowing it to drop and wash away. You don't have to carry it anymore. This is your time to really just let it go, giving her full permission with this holy, sacred water to clear it away once and for all, dipping again into the holy vessel, bringing it to the sacral area, washing away even more shame or guilt, letting it all go, opening up to something new, letting go of this judgment and unworthiness, washing this away from you, these old patterns and ways of being, releasing them as she dips into the water and brings it to your hips, opening up the space there, moving into the groin. Surrender, let go, allow her to gently wash and clear away old energies that do not need to be there. Open up and just surrender. Completely let go now. You are a worthy divine being, and she is washing away the imprints of the false self, letting it go now. All the stories as she continues to wash your thighs, your knees, your calves, moving down now as she gets more water, washing your feet, bowing to them as she washes the whole body. And now you're laying there and you have been cleansed and cleared in a willingness to let go. Moving over to you, she comes to the top of your head and she begins to unzip this old garment, this garment of light that you have been walking in, that has served you well and brought you many gifts. But now it is time, as you move through the ascension portal of 1212, to leave it behind, as you will be gaining a new garment of light in a higher frequency, more open, ready for receiving, awake, healed, and connected. Allow her to unzip it as it drops beneath you. And now you are simply a sphere, an energy of light. You begin to lift from your garment, looking at it behind. As you stand in the doorway of her dwelling, you turn now and look toward the space where the clearing happened, and you see the old energy laying there. You bow to it, thanking it for serving you, and you say goodbye. You begin now to move outside of the dwelling, and as you begin to float there, you see that there are an endless sea of beings of light, greeting and awakening you to move through the 1212 portal of light, to activate your body to a whole new octave. They come and wander in the bowing toward you, to invite you to follow them as the crowds part and you walk through a pathway with guided beings on either side, wearing robes of gold and white. And as you move through the corridors of this path, down and through the forest and its grove, you feel so light and alive and ready to receive your activation. You simply float, so light, remembering what it felt like to be alive, vibrant, knowing that you are a divine being of love. Floating and moving through this space, it begins to open. And as it opens, you notice that on the floor, on the ground, is a 12-pointed star. It is so large, it fills the whole area like the filling of a meadow. It is in a clearing and an opening of the grove where you may look up at the night sky, knowing above you the beings from Sirius and those that have come from the Pleiadians and the Arcturians and the star beings of light are present witness to your activation. The opening to the stars above and the beautiful, beautiful 12-pointed star below. Standing now in the middle of the star, you start to become aware that around you in the formation of the star, circling you, are beings of light. There are 12 of them, 12 that have 12 with them, 12 tribes of light times 12 of the 144 beings of light that have arrived especially for you today on 12/12 to activate within you 12 golden gifts, standing in the center of the circle now. Open your hands wide as if they are parallel, standing your arms straight out. And as you do that, spin clockwise as if you are opening a portal for yourself. As you spin clockwise with your arms open, one to the left and one to the right, you open up a circumference, widening your pranic tube, your pillar of light. And as you do this, the Syrian elders begin to send light from above, coming into your crown and through your whole body. That is the circumference of 12 feet around you, going all the way down 12 feet into the core beneath where it is that you are, and then 12 times that, times 12,000, furthering all the way in to the depth of where it is that you are, widening this sphere all around you. You are standing now in the circumference of light that is the expanded light of your new light body. Allow yourself to begin to feel comfortable with owning and holding this much light. This light is all around you. It is emanating in a circumference of 12 feet around, going up to the heavens and below into the earth. You are this light. Feel the light. Sense the quality of it, and know that this light is you. As you stand there, filling the center of the 12-pointed star, you look in front of you, and in front of you is an ascended master wearing a robe of light, and behind him are 12 of his council members. He is holding within his hand a sphere, and this sphere is embedded with sacred geometry. The familiar pattern that you are aware of is the flower of life, but it is embedded with so much more than that. It will be the base that holds the structure of your new light body. It also contains the Metatron's cubes, sequences of energy. It is very, very large. We are holding it for you. You are simply witnessing the master hold the sphere. As he holds it, it is going to turn into a disc that looks flat like a plate. This disc now is going to move toward you. And as it moves toward you, as the master is standing in front of you, it is going to enter into the heart. You may feel something taking a nice breath as it enters into the heart. It's going to drop as if it is going down an elevator shaft in the circumference of 12 feet around, dropping down as far as it can into the earth. This first sphere that is going into the earth is stabilizing and activating you and attuning you to the fifth dimension. This vibration has been now implanted beneath you and is holding the vibration of 5D. It is going to soon begin to spin. When it spins, whatever direction or formation it moves in is what is calibrated to your frequency. With the golden ratio, it is going to begin to move now as it moves around 8, 5, 11 times Godspeed, infinity. It moves again 13, 8, 22 times Godspeed, infinity. It moving again 21, 13, 33 times Godspeed, infinity. As you see the infinity sign spinning within the disc in the center of the 0 point, anchoring it into 5D, 3, 4, 21, 44 times Godspeed, infinity, fully activated beneath you. And it is been implanted and embedded with the geometry codes needed to activate your light body to the new sequence in alignment with the golden ratio as you receive this particular activation at 1212. Beginning to allow the assimilation of this as it will occur in the amount in which you are able to receive, and so it is. And now as you are standing there, the 12-pointed star begins to spin and it moves just over 1. And as it moves 1, it is moving clockwise, and you begin to be aware of the ascended master standing in front of you. This ascended master is holding the qualities of the Lemurian vibration, and it is standing there with 12 councils behind her. She is radiating spectrums of light and prisms that are fractal patterns that have not been seen in the perspective of the eyes of the human understanding, connected with the crystal kingdom and the library of information. This particular sphere begins to collapse into a golden disc embedded and encoded with crystalline structures that are ready to be brought forward. In the receiving and the opening of that, and in the allowing of it, just allow this beautiful, beautiful being of light that you are familiar with from times of living in the Lemurian times, that is tall, holding the color of blue. As she is coming forward now to you, she is inserting very gently and softly within the heart this disc. As it begins to expand now, as she is stepping back, it is expanding 12 feet, and it is beginning to move as it drops down the elevator shaft of the tube and pillar of light, moving down beneath you as it is encoded with the records that have been and are connected to the times of the gifts received during the Lemurian vibration. This attunes you to the crystal kingdom, opening and activating the remembering of these gifts. And as it begins to move 8, 5, 11 times Godspeed, infinity, you start to feel it beginning to move. It will move in whatever energetic pattern is in resonance with your vibration. 13, 8, 22 times Godspeed, infinity. The infinity sign is spinning, double helix, moving in 2 directions, allowing it to go 21, 13, 33 times Godspeed, infinity. 44, 34, 21, 44 times Godspeed, infinity, as it is moving, completely embedded and activated. Allowing it to settle in now. 2 discs now have been inserted, opening up the light body, activating it during the 1212 portal activation to allow you to move to higher frequency, feeling it and allowing it to be, settling in to the quality of this new vibration within you, opening the template of light. You're standing in the center of the 12-pointed star. And now the Lemurian energy moves clockwise out of view. Standing in front of you are the indigenous ones. They're here holding gifts. There is one representing today of white feather, White feather is standing with the 12 members behind. This energy and vibration of the sphere is embedded with sacred symbols and geometries in the pattern that is familiar of the flower of life as it becomes flattened into a golden disc. As this energy is aware and you are aware of it in the receiving and the bowing to receive this gift, white feather steps forward, bringing this, inserting it just ever so gently into the heart as it begins to open and expand to the 12 diameter that is needed to drop down the tube as it begins to be beneath your feet, right around the feet level. And with that, there is an awakening of imagery and pictures of the remembering of walking on the earth barefoot, moving very quickly over rocks, walking in the sand, climbing the tree, connected and rooted into the Great Mother, feeling her heartbeat, attuned to the animal kingdoms, to the soil, the fertility, the bounty, the abundance of life on earth, attuned to her elements of fire, water, air, earth, connecting here, recalibrating and vibrating to attune to these vibrations, activating at 8, 5, 11 times Godspeed Infinity, spinning, moving, opening, recalibrating 13, 8, 22 times Godspeed Infinity, moving. There is triple infinity signs moving in different directions now. Adding in, adding in, adding in. Sacred geometry moving in the fractal patterns 21, 13, 33 times Godspeed Infinity, 34, 21, 44 times Godspeed Infinity in the spinning, moving, allowing it to calibrate as you are moving into the indigenous rememberings of this time, connecting you here to the 5D earth, calibrating you to the return of the heartbeat of the Great Mother. In the receiving of this is connected. You are connected, activated, standing now inside the star, aware again that it has spun again as white feather moves out of view. Coming in now is that of the root, tuning into the root center now, noticing the 12 tribes of light. They're also carrying here that of the turtle, that of the dragon. These are very old and primitive energies and vibrations, attuning you to the remembering of this particular time and that of synchronicity and magic. The alchemized energy of the gold patterns, connecting you in of 8, 5 is moving in now, rooted. And in this root center, they're creating a sense of remembering of safety, that you have always been safe and you will always be safe. Is only in the mind of the creating of losing trust to the remembering that all things are bountiful and taken care of for you. And in the surrendering to that and the remembering that it is perfect in its design as it is, without a need to control it, in the trusting of its safety, it reactivates you to 5D qualities, 8, 5, 11 times Godspeed Infinity, 13, 8, 22 times Godspeed Infinity, 21, 13, 33 times Godspeed Infinity as it is moving. And now we've got more infinity signs moving rapidly in multiple directions, aligned with different solids, allowing Earth's energy and the fertility of soil to begin to activate, planting in seeds from the star systems coming in from the Syrians as they are opening up space to 34, 21, 44 times Godspeed Infinity, fully activated, creating surface level of stability, structure, and safety now activated. And so it is. All right, moving in now, standing in there, aware of your space, knowing now that if you tune in, looking beneath, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 discs that have been inserted, activating you to 5D qualities based in the vibration of complete and absolute unconditional love, with the light beings, are radiating light, attuning now, moving into the sacral area, connecting here. Connecting, tuning in as they spin, and you begin to notice Sophia stepping forward, vibration and energy of creation in the womb space of the sacred feminine. Many, many beautiful beings of light and goddesses behind her, representing all different qualities and aspects, as she is holding a sphere of golden light that is of the color pink. And this pink light has threads of gold within the flower of light moving through it as it is coming in now to be inserted, gently moving into the heart center. Oh, so gently. It is small at first, then it begins to expand in the formation, opening almost like a flower, moving in now to that area. Allow in the receiving qualities, moving into the area. Sophia, into the womb space. It is very dark in this space. It is the black light of creation itself. Allowing it to spin, it feels as though you are moving around inside a galaxy that is inside the golden disc, imprinted with energetic patterns of creation itself, opening you up. This is creating the remembering and the connection of your divine order and feminine self, and the awakening of the divine rose, allowing this space of creation to open into the voidness and infiniteness patterns of nothing, of the space in which will be recalibrated to the 8, 5, 11 times Godspeed infinity, 13, 8, 22 times Godspeed infinity, 21, 13, 33 times Godspeed infinity, 34, 21, 44 times Godspeed infinity, as it is moving, allowing the goddesses to stand. As they are standing around within this disc, they are spinning it again. This is an extraordinarily important one in the vibration of Shakti and the great Sophia, in the opening of the creation space of the womb, of the sacred holy womb. In that remembering, it is now activated, standing now within the circle. As it begins to spin again, coming forward, the power beings, that of Sekhmet and Kali, of the great protectors. They are here to protect you as you stand fiercely in your power, bringing the vibration of the lion. This energy is embedded within this disc that is calibrated to the vibration of power, true power. Aware that they are holding it, they begin to step forward. The Ankh sign is present. Kali is present, the great lion is present, the sword of light is present, embedded with many symbols and shapes of geometry, including that of the flower of life, as it moves flat into the golden disc, moving now into your power center. As it moves into the heart, it doesn't need to drop far, dropping right down into the solar plexus, expanding to the 12 feet diameter as it begins to spin in the receiving of your power center, that you are a powerful divine being of light, holding and creating boundaries from any energies that are not based in 5D unity, love, consciousness of the Christ energetic field. 8, 5, 11 times Godspeed infinity, 13, 8, 22 times Godspeed to infinity, 21, 33 times Godspeed infinity, again 21, 13, 33 times Godspeed to infinity, 34, 21, 44 times Godspeed to infinity, fully activated within the power center, moving out 12 feet in diameter as it is spinning and calibrating to the vibration of the receiving, which can be during this 12-12 activation. Aware that you are standing within the center of the 12-pointed star, Sekhmet, Kali, and the great goddesses behind her begin to move. And as they move, you begin to be aware of the next tribe of light stepping forward for the heart center. I is Archangel Raphael, and that of the Divine Mother, energy from all aspects of understanding and religion and dogmas is present here in whatever form comes presently forward for you within the heart center of complete and absolute unconditional love. We are holding that sphere of love for you as it begins to open and activate, spinning and moving in as we bring it into the heart, opening up to the 12 diameter within the 12th pointed star as it begins to radiate unconditional love. Allow this light now to open up so wide that it is encompassing all the discs below, as it is the unified field of the heartbeat of the essence of the heavens above and the earth below that meets in the unified energetic form in the sacred space of the dwelling of the heart. Expanded now, activated at 8, 5, 11 times Godspeed infinity, 13, 8, 22 times Godspeed to infinity, 21, 13, 33 times Godspeed to infinity, 34, 21, 44 times Godspeed infinity, expanded, unified within the unified breath of the open heart. And so it is moving in now as you stand, noticing our energy in which we are encompassing in the center all that is. We begin to move to the side as the 12-pointed star begins to turn, tuning in now to the blue lotus energy that is coming in. This is a frequency of a vibration. It is carrying a tribe that is simply that of sound. It has no shape in the formation of an identity. It is in the frequency of sound only, moving into the geometry of patterns that are made through sound as that energy and the council that is holding the vibration of sound of the sacred word, the first word spoken, coming in, moving into the heart as it rises now from the heart into the throat, beginning to spin, expanding to the 12 diameters. As that light is expanded, this new disc is a whole new way of speaking and being of full aware and conscious awareness of the spoken word in the creation of what is bringing forth in the reality of 5D, based in the vibration and threaded through the unity and the aspects of love that it is spoken in a new way. As we begin to spin it, 8, 5, 11 times Godspeed infinity, 13, 8, 22 times Godspeed infinity, 21, 13, 33 times Godspeed infinity, 34, 21, 44 times, and the tapping and the spinning to Godspeed infinity. That is the vibration of sound. You're elevated now to a new frequency. You will begin to hear music and nature at a whole new level of beauty and love, where it will be accentuated in a way you have never heard before, as though you were listening to the choir of the angels. Expanded now and opening as they begin to move aside, moving over, beginning to open up. As this tribe is coming forward, holding the Akashic records, the Egyptian qualities, Thoth, the emerald tablet is present, but also that of color. This energy is coming in with the 12 councils and a whole new prism of colors that are on a spectrum beyond the understanding of this dimension, based in 5D, as the insertion is taking place, moving into the pineal gland. First, they are moving forward. As they enter it into the heart, it shall rise up through the golden disc that is spinning at the throat, above it into the pineal area, expanding the room within the pineal gland and the cones of light that are moving in different directions, opening up access to past records and future timelines in complete clarity of the unfolding of the eye, able to see beyond that of this particular dimension. 8, 5, 11 times Godspeed to infinity, 13, 8, 22 times Godspeed to infinity, 21, 13, 33 times Godspeed to infinity, 34, 21, 44 times to Godspeed infinity, activated. It is moving as that energy now is in the circumference of 12 feet as it has spun open and complete as they stand back. Moving aside now as the 12-pointed star begins to turn again as you're standing there. This energy now that is coming forward, holding the light in the council of the 12 members behind as of a very high frequency that again does not have name. This energy is based simply in the formation of geometry. It is holding the space right here at the crown, expanding, expanding, expanding as they are moving forward in patterns. You may notice these sequences as numbers or information that is beginning to run down as a coding that is occurring as they are coming forward. Now they're entering this disc as it creates its flatness. It does not have the flower of life. It is embedded with imprints that perhaps are not fully understandable and familiar at this time, but that's all right. You will assimilate them as needed as it is inserted in the heart, begins to rise through the throat and the third eye to the crown, sitting at flat like a plate or a disc at the top of the head as it begins to create a different formation, beginning to almost look like a halo. This is beginning to spin and activate now these codes. As the codes are activated at the 12 diameter circumference around you, they will begin to fall. As the codes fall, they're going to go through as if they are raining or dropping down through all the other discs, all the way down into the first disc. We are activating it now as the codes and light begin to spin and activate. 8, 5, 11 times Godspeed to infinity, 13, 8, 22 times Godspeed to infinity, 21, 13, 33 times Godspeed infinity, 34, 21, 44 times Godspeed to infinity. The infinity signs are moving and the 0 point now is expanding in the center. It is starting to open, open, open as it is creating another dimensional energy moving through like a thread through all of the discs as they are all interconnected together. As these energies now begin to move over and to the side and the 12-pointed star turns again, the one coming in front now, energies of different star systems are moving forward. The Syrian elders are deeply present, and those who have stood before you in the past in the four corners, inserting great gifts of light. Also, those of other dimensional realities, without the need to name all of them, are also deeply present now as they are coming in from above, encoding you in the remembering and seeding you to awaken the seeds that are already there to remember your star seed origin. As this occurs, your connection to the star systems and these beings of light that are here to bring the earth into the highest dimension of the unified field of love will become more aware, and you'll be more conscious of them. This energy now is moving into activation. It is sitting above you in a golden disc. This disc actually looks more silver than gold, and it is flatter and a bit thinner, and it is spinning faster. 8, 5, 11 times Godspeed infinity, 13, 8, 22 times Godspeed infinity, 21, 13, 33 times Godspeed infinity, 34, 21, 44 times Godspeed infinity, expanding to the 12 circumference diameter, spinning, moving, fully activated in this connection as the thread now is a little bit of a different color, moving in to the crown. We're going to go up one more for today as we hit the 12. As you're standing in the 12-pointed star, beginning to move, as the energies move, begin to feel Metatron. Metatron is coming forward, 12 council members behind him. He is holding Metatron's cube in its full formation that is dimensional, not flat. As this comes in, it isn't fully lit yet, but it is lit to the capacity in which you're able to fully receive it. It is the rainbow bridge. It is bridging you and the 5D. It is encompassing the 5 platonic solids, and it is calibrating you to the 5th dimension. All of its energies also then begin to expand as if you are within it and it is within you, moving and operating through you, also expanding into the 12-strand DNA as that begins to spiral up. Allowing now Metatron to come forward. He's going to move into the heart center. And he's going to rise up the Metatron's cube as it is going from the heart and above through all systems and above as high as you will allow it to go. You let it sit wherever you want it to sit, hovering that energetic pattern, fully conscious and aware of its presence, fully activated. This is not going to be activated with the golden ratio. It is simply going to be held as Metatron is turning it on, and it is fully lit, creating a pattern for you that is in alignment with the vibration quality in which you're able to hold at this time with the highest light. And so it is. Activated, open and connected. Now it is also connecting down to the original energy of insertion as it is merging it all. As the discs now of the 12 energy centers are all moving and operating in a synchronistic fashion together, spinning in the way in which is designed to be calibrated for the receiving of the light that you feel able at this time to integrate. The integration of this activation will continue over several days and for your lifetime as it will continue to turn on more and more and more light as you move and embody more and more, feeling completely inside and a part of operating within 5D. Take a moment now, standing in the 12-pointed star, the 12 tribes of light around you on 1212, receiving the 12 discs of light with the expansion of your light body fully activated to a new frequency. And so it is. You are divine. You are pure light consciousness. You are love, and you are loved. Allow yourself to fully integrate and embody and receive this blessing, knowing that you are worthy, perfect as you are. And now that you feel connected to this new energetic field, we're going to seal it with a new garment. This garment of light is much larger than the one you're familiar with. It will take a little time to adjust as the light moves into the garment. I am going to give you this garment as Archangel Raphael so that you may know your worthiness, that you are whole, that you are healed, that you are loved, that you are a divine being of light. I stand before you. I place my hand upon your heart. I look into your eyes and I see you. Next to me are garments in light made that are luminous and shimmering, but still a quality that has form that may hold the light you have received. I place it like a robe over you, and you wear it like a flowing garment that is containing now this new light body. I place above you and around you, holding it in as well, as this tube now is held 12 feet around in the circumference of this light. You may expand this garment at any time to hold more light whenever and if ever you are ready. But for now, we are holding it here as you calibrate to this new vibration. I bow to you in gratitude for your willingness to do this, for the work that you are doing and the light that you are holding is not just for you, but for all of those you love, for all of humanity, and for Mother Earth. With that, on behalf of all of the 12 tribes of light in the 12-pointed star on 1212, we thank you and we love you. Many blessings and good day. When you are ready, you can begin to come back into the presence of the here and now, into this space. Thank you so much for doing this work.